Shut up and sit down.
Doing a company video to go with the second part of my story on my blog. It's called Part 2, 35 and Rugby. So in the first part of my story, I was talking all about my cycle of being overweight, eating more, and a vicious cycle that I needed a break to get through. And yeah, I managed to do that, and I managed to lose a lot of weight, and I managed to get better. And then the second part of my blog, which is what I'm going to talk about now, I was kind of like on that road to success. I'd taken back control of my life. I was dieting. I was losing weight. I was feeling better about myself. I managed to cut down on those takeaways. Well, they're not completely, but as well as I could. And George had said, why don't you go back and have a go at playing rugby? Because I played rugby all my life as from a young kid, and I was captain of school, and I played for my team. I went through the Hampshire trials, etc. And that was something I really enjoyed, and I was really good at. And the thought of going back to that it was scary, I suppose, in a way, and also exciting. And so because my confidence started to increase as well, not just about myself, but in everyday life, at work and at home, with other people, my friends, I have more confidence in me. So anyway, back to the end of part one. So George had told me, give your local rugby club, give the local rugby club a call. So after thinking about this loads, I kind of like mustered up the courage to give them a call. So I called the number on the website, and I ended up speaking to a guy called Russell. So he was the first team captain. He was a really nice chap. And he said, come down. We train on a Tuesday and a Thursday, but turn up on Tuesday, get here before 7. We can be out on the pitch about 7. So the following Tuesday, I went down to the club, introduced myself to everyone, and then promptly we got out for our first training session. Now, I was really, really nervous at this point. But yeah, at the same time, really quite excited as well, because, coming out the tunnel, run back out on the pitch, I'm back in doing this, playing this sport that I'd grown up doing when I was a youth. And one of the drills at the end of the session was around, you get another player, you have to run. So how you do it, you run from if you know rugby and rugby pitches, you've got your try line, your 22, your halfway line, 22, and then another try line. So the whole drill was run to the 22, run back to the try line, run to the halfway line, run back to the try line, run to the opposite 22, run back to the try line, run all the way to the try line at the other end, and then repeat, come back. So you're meant to team up with another player, and then you G each other up, help each other along, get through. The player with me ended up giving up, and I was at the end of it. I was the last person still out on the pitch running. Well, I wasn't even running at this point. I was kind of walking fast, but lifting my knees to give the impression that I was running, because not doing exercise for 10 years. That's what happens. I felt like I was going to throw up. I was in bits, and as I'm running back to the squad, there's all these players on the side, and they're just me running towards them, and they're watching me. And you start to manifest in your head what are they saying, what might they be saying about me? And then to add insult really to injury was the coach then ran up behind me and slapped me on the back, and he said to me, "Well, good effort, big lad." Big lad. I thought, what the hell are you talking about, big lad? But at that point, I was quite a big lad. Now, as I was saying a minute ago, sport for me at school, I was captain of my rugby team. I was really good at sport, quite dominant at sport, and to then suddenly come back into sport and be that guy who's the last one back from a run-in, it hurts. It's a hard one to take on the chin. Do you know what I mean? It's really, it's not easy. But it didn't put me off. Something had changed. So instead of going home, going, George, I don't want to do it anymore. I went out to the rugby club. I did this. I actually lit a fire in my belly, and I thought, I need to get better. I need to do better. So I bought a book on coaching myself to be a better rugby player, and then I kept going back week after week, training. And as the season started, I ended up going into the third team, and a great bunch of people in the third team. And but it became really apparent quite quickly. I'm 35 at this point. I'm playing with people in their 20s, and I'm playing as a back as well. So traditionally, I used to play fullback. So I'm playing one of the back three, and I just don't have the legs. People are running circles around me. Yeah, I can still tackle them, still get into the ground, but someone gets past me, you know, there's no catching them. And then one day, we're all at a training session, we all run back in. The first team had a match that day, and the coach got everyone around. He said to everybody, make sure you do what you need to do, boys, get in the gym, blah, blah, blah. And the penny dropped. And I thought, that's what I need to do. I need to get in the gym, I need to lift some weights, and I need to do some cardio. Well, I've been to the gym this many times in my life, you know. I had no idea. Well, what did I do? I don't know anything about weightlifting, you know. I know what cardio is. I know I'll go for a run or go on an exercise bike, but you know, what is I need to do? So the thought of going to the gym kind of scared the life out of me, because I've been before and I didn't really like it. I find them quite intimidating at that point. But I wouldn't have said that to someone, you know, I'd have just made up some other excuse about why I don't want to go because it costs money. But then one day I was working at this office block, and it was one of these office blocks where there's lots of different businesses. And I noticed that downstairs, ground floor, this personal trainer had opened up. He had his own little training studio in there, and he had a lot of people coming and going. So I thought, you know, lunchtime, I'll go down, I'll knock on his door, and I'll see what he's got to say. So I went down and knocked on his door. Real nice chap. You know, he welcomed me in, asked me what I was doing. I was saying, you know, I'm playing rugby. I want to get better. I'm not as fast as I used to be. I need to get speed. And he said, you know, I've got just the thing for you, a strength and conditioning course. So what he then did is he said, we'll get you on this program. You take the program for us. You go and you train for the month. You come back once a month for an hour. We assess you. We look at your progress. We give you the next part of the program to then carry on. And off you go. And I thought, well, yeah, sounds absolutely brilliant. So I explained them to my goals. They put me on a conditioning program, and off I went, off to the gym. So at this point, I felt empowered, uplifted, you know. I had all the tools I needed to succeed. I had my weekly training at the rugby club. I had my 3-day conditioning program. I got my book. You know, there's nothing I can't do. So, personal trainer told me, buy protein, you want to take protein after you've worked out. So I was like, okay, yeah, I'll go and do that. He put me off to a well-known brand, so I went off and bought this brand of protein. And then he showed me some of the exercises on my plan and said, you know, these are some of the exercises. Say do this, that. We can get through them all. We're in an hour a month, so just show me what you can show me. And then the next step was, well, I needed a gym in which to enact this. So I duly went and joined my local gym, working out, and yeah, wow, what did happen? Well, to say that I didn't know what I was doing would be an understatement. Is the only way I can think about it, because I didn't have a flipping clue. I used to ask people in the gym. I got to people like, you look for reverse fly. I've got a reverse fly, you know, and then I'd wonder why people didn't seem that overjoyed to kind of help me. So obviously I'm cutting now into their workout time. You know, they're there to work out, not to some guy come up to them and ask how to do it. And so the days of feeling on top there, you know, they were short-lived. Rugby wasn't going that great in the end. I wasn't always getting selected because, you know, I wasn't the best player, which was a hard one to take coming from such a background where I was, you know, usually the best player on the pitch, etc. I was no Johnny Wilkinson, should I say. And the magical results I was expecting from the gym, that wasn't even coming back. They weren't coming either. And so I started to get back into this, I started to get a bit depressed about it, to be honest with you. A bit tired, sad, feel sorry for myself. And I went back to an old habit, which is start to eat crap again. So I started to eat rubbish, and I needed to deal with that. So I thought, how can I fix this? Well, I'm paying this guy, and he wasn't cheap, to give me a program. And I go back and talk to him. So I went back to my personal trainer and I discussed stuff with him. I discussed my food. So, you know, my food. I knew that at this point, you know, that food was a problem. I'd been going to Slimming World, you know, with Georgia, and I've been following that program. And so I knew there's a problem, and I knew that I was training, and I knew that it was something about nutrition and training. I wasn't that much of an idiot. I had Googled it. And but I didn't really get anything from my personal trainer. And a couple of days later, I got from him a printout which showed me portion control of my plate, and it was like 40% carb, 40% protein, 20% fat, and it didn't help me at all. I was a noob in all of this, and so I tried to explain to him it wasn't working and how could we change it up. But to be honest, he just wasn't really that interested, and so we ended up really parting ways. And although I didn't realise it at the time, and I didn't know any better, so I had no idea how to, I didn't know how to do any of the exercises really that the personal trainer gave me. And I'd never been using proper form. I'd learnt bad habits from watching others in the gym and online videos. And I'd even worked out with people before as well. I'd done the old bro stuff. You want to do this superset, want to do that drop set. Look at this from, this fitness magazine I've got. And even I started my own fitness magazines and reading stuff on how to get a six pack, how to get abs, without really even knowing anything behind it and trying to blindly follow it. And I remember the point it got to during one weight session. I managed to fail a bench press, and I hadn't put the spotting bars in, and I ended up having to get saved by another gym goer. But and that was not a highlight of my my time. And my idea of nutrition: bang down 3 or 4 protein shakes a day, and then eat what I liked on a workout day. And then I'll tell everybody about it, like I was some sort of expert on it, and this is what happens. You think that and over time and over the years, I've learned. And then one of the most important things I think I've learned is you never stop learning. You always have to be open to learning. So you're never going to know everything. And yeah, I even remember I was taking alpha something. It was called a pill. It was going to be like anabolic effects, but it wasn't a steroid. And I don't even know what that was, to be honest with you. And now I'm putting something in my body that I don't even know what it is. And what a crazy thing to do. And strangely enough, it didn't actually do anything either, which but probably cost me like 40 quid for the bottle. And then the next blow was, I've been selected to play an away match. So I went off. I was happy to be selected to go and play. It was a away match on the Isle of Wight. And quite often people don't want to go and play away to the Isle of Wight. But what this match resulted in me doing is I ended up, I really hurt my foot at the time, got it twisted and I hobbled off the pitch. And then it turned out I'd broken my foot. And this put me into a real low because I was unable to play. I was unable to go to the gym. And, I had no program out in the gym either. So, I was lost at that point. So I didn't know what to do. And I felt really out of control again because I thought, now I haven't got my personal trainer. I thought I'd got my personal trainer. Now I'm, not getting selected. Now I can't even train to get selected because I've broken my foot. What's going on? And after crying a lot about it, moaning a lot about it to Georgia, bless her, kind of worked out how can I turn this negative into a positive. So I started thinking, I've got to build my foot back up because I've got to do that. I haven't got a choice. And then I thought, since I can't do anything, let's learn about weightlifting. You need a personal trainer, right? Someone must have written a book on it. That was what I thought. And after all, I wasn't going to go running anytime soon, So that was my next thing. And at this same point, my son had just started rugby training. He was 5 and he was in the under 6s and he just started. And I'd started helping out a little bit because I was at the side watching him with great friends. The coach said, come and help out. You recognise me, and my son was playing. So that was good. And in the gym, I was following some physio exercises to help my foot recovery. But what at this point changed everything, and this changed more in my life than what I really account at this time. This was just a small thing. And I've learned some lessons from that, which I'll go into in a sec. But I bought a book, and it was a book by called Bigger, Leaner, Stronger. And this book was by a chap called Mike Matthews. He also runs a blog called Muscle for Life. And this book started me on what I can only describe as an educational ride and a newfound love in my life, which is weightlifting. So, I love weightlifting. And also, if you're about to start weightlifting or you've been weightlifting for years, it's so worth reading this book. It's simple and it's really good, and it's right, you know. And when if he does a lot of podcasts, and if you listen to them, Mike Matthews, he comes from a really good place of sound science around what he's talking about, and there's no BS and all of this. The only shame of it took me so long to read it, but even worse than that, it took me a long time to enact it. So I read it and I believed it and I started on it, but I didn't truly follow it. And the only time I truly followed it, and I don't really want to go too far into this because there's more about this in part 3 of my story that I'm going to write, but I've only this year, so it's 2018, January this year, started really truly following what he said, and the results have been remarkable, to be honest. Anyway, enough about that. As my foot recovered, I didn't go back playing rugby because I started weightlifting as my primary focus. What had happened was an activity, a tool that I was using to condition myself for a sport, which was rugby at the time, then became the sport that I love, and I still love today. And you have to getting up at 4:45 every morning and going in the gym. You got to love it, haven't you? Really. But that didn't end my involvement in rugby by no means of the stretch at all. What happened was coach moved on, and then I ended up becoming the under-6s coach, and now I'm still coaching there today with the under-9s as I'm moving up with them, and with a great bunch of people as well. I've made some real, true, lifelong friends there, which is really brilliant. So where does that leave me? Well, what makes me kind of like most proud about myself in this part of my life, this part of my story, really, there was a lot to it, but this was it really condensed. But my ability to fail, so I had a lot of failure and a lot of upset, and like I said earlier, don't get me wrong, I did moan, felt sorry for myself, but I built a bridge, I got over it, and I carried on, and I tried to find positives in the negatives, and I tried to look for new opportunities, and I think I found that, and I found that in weightlifting. Weightlifting by no means has been easy for me. I'm going to talk a lot more about that at another point. I'm doing things today now with my weightlifting that I didn't envisage myself doing because of, health circumstances. But I didn't just let life get me down. I didn't let it kick me and just lie in the gutter. I got back up, I dusted myself off, and a lot of support from my wife as well. I'm not going to say it was all me. Georgia was there alongside me all the way, and my wife is one of the most supporting people in my life. She's the person who pushes me for those promotions, pushes me forward, tells me to do things, tells me I can do things when I doubt things, and supports me all that way. And but I didn't just lie down. I didn't take it. Anyway, I'm waffling now. But thank you for taking your time to listen to this. And I hope you stick with my blog, www.fit40.blog. And I hope that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. All I want to do is really to motivate people who are in similar circumstances to me, people who are even just in there like middle-aged people who are looking to start weightlifting or start to just get fit. It's not an easy ride, but you'll get there, and that's what I want to try and talk to you about. Make sure that you're not on your own. There's lots of us out there doing it. Not everybody talks about it, but I've chosen to talk about it, so you can hopefully get some sort of inspiration from my blog. And even if you want to, just ask me for advice, please do. I will tell you the truth. Okay. Anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye.